What's up, guys? This is Astranox. It's now time for me to summon for ae-NINGNING, the limited hero from the aespa collaboration in Epic 7. This hero's kit looks very powerful. Her artifact as well, so I'm very hyped to actually get this hero, build her up, bring her seals to plus 15 and showcase her for you guys. So hopefully I don't join the 121 club. Hopefully you guys get lucky. Hopefully you get her artifact. You don't have to use powder of knowledge, right? So maybe we might want to get more than one of that artifact. We'll see. I'll be testing all that out in my next video. Definitely stay tuned for that. It's gonna start right after this. This video is brought to you by Amazon Appstore and Amazon Coins. If you're going to spend for ae-NINGNING, you should do so by using Amazon Coins. You can save up to 20% on in-game purchases from games who are on the Amazon App Store. The great news is that Epic 7 is now available on it, and you can start using Amazon Coins to straight up get more out of what you're usually spending or end up with more spare cash instead. It's a win-win scenario. It's very easy to get the best savings on the Amazon App Store and Epic 7. Just go down below and use my link and follow the instructions. If you use my link below, it helps me but also allows you to still get the best possible discounts. You can get up to 20% off, which is really awesome. Get a full 20% discount if you buy 50k coins. If you buy 10,000 Amazon coins for $82, they will give you $100 in the game, and so on, with a bunch of discounts for different budgets. It's really easy to start saving. There's just 3 steps. 1. Get your Amazon coins. 2. Get Epic 7 from the Amazon App Store on your favorite device, Android phone or tablet. Or even better, get Amazon App Store now on Windows 11 and play Epic 7 directly from your PC easily with no complications. Currently available for the US and then globally. That's awesome. Once you've done that, just log into Epic 7 through the Amazon App Store. Just as easy as that. Why pay the full amount when you can get up to a nice 20% discount? There's really no reason not to use this method when it comes down to spending money in Epic 7. Check out my link in the description or comments section down below. Get Amazon App Store, get some Amazon coins, and start saving now. Alright guys, let's get ae-NINGNING. As you can see, this is my account with iWinter, so it's gonna be great. I can test them together. So here we go here. Will I join the 121 club? Let's find out. What about her artifact? Well, we'll see. Now, you can get these bookmarks from the event running. So definitely cool. Do it up here. Extend real quick. Come on. Let's go. So this hero's... Oh! Please be the artifact. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. After using a non-attack skill, increases combat chance of the caster by, I believe, 15% at plus 15, and remove probably like 15 souls from the enemy. Soul removal can only be activated once every 4 turns. Now this looks strong, guys. This definitely looks strong. You're gonna be able to put pressure on the enemy, right? You're gonna be boosting your combat chance, but you're also putting pressure because you are taking souls off of them. That's very nice. I definitely like this artifact. This definitely could become meta. Like, not everyone can have a Bellion in the battle. Maybe Bellion got banned or something like that, right? There is a knight artifact that allows you to, take souls from the enemy. But this one, yeah, this one is a bigger chunk, and it boosts combat chance as well. So I'm glad I got it. Hopefully you guys are able to pull something like this off. Now, for her kit, right, you got barrier inversion. So that is removing the barrier. You are, let's go, man. You are dealing damage based on how much value that barrier was. Like, let's say a 4,000 health barrier means that it's gone, and then they will take 4,000 damage, right? Because that was the, the thickness of the barrier. That's strong right there. So she's able to deal damage, deal with the... What is this? Guys, this is reminding me of the iWinter summoning session. Oh boy. I said it never happened to me, and it happens again? How? 2 of them in one X10. Wow. Okay, so you got the barrier inversion, you are removing 2 buffs from them, and she's pushing her combat just by 50%, guys. That's a lot after skill ups. But if they have barrier, she's pushing her combat just by 100%. She's getting a whole turn. So she uses skill 3 versus a team that has a barrier more, and then she gets another turn, unless there's a Politis on their team, which is going to cut her CR push by 50%. And then she's going to be able to skill 2 or skill 1. You want to use skill 2 because you're able to push back the combativeness of that single target by 30%, and you're able to give attack buff to the ally on your team with the highest attack beside herself. And you push that ally's combativeness by 30%. That's very good. That's very good because she has a base speed. It's 114. 114 or 118. I'm not 100% sure. We'll know after I get her, right? After the awakening. I think it's 114, guys. It's 114. 118, that's I Winter. That's too high for a Soul Weaver. Sounds too good, to be honest. Especially with the kit that she has. Her skill 1, you're able to stun. And that does definitely come in handy because, well, stunning means they're losing their whole current turn, so they were maybe about to go, right? So usually you want to focus on targets that are about to go because they're going to be losing all that combativeness. They get stunned, and then they have to rebuild all that combativeness on the next turn. So it's quite devastating if you're able to land a stun on a key hero. Maybe it's a damage dealer. Maybe that damage dealer was about to, unleash a skill 3 or something like that. So it can be a game-winning move, landing the right stun at the right time. But yeah, barrier, with all the barrier, around with the new protection set from Golem, guys, like, yeah, barrier is pretty widespread. So it's going to allow ae-NINGNING to shine quite often, which is definitely good. So this seems to be a hero that you can invest your resources into, and you're going to be able to bring along. Probably also in PvE content, not only PvP, right? So that's definitely good when you're able to do something like that. Now, barrier inversion maybe not something that you're going to be able to use in PvE, and also like how often will the target have barrier means like you're not going to be able to get the 100% CR push. So it looks like it's going to be a pity. No problem, because oh, these are single summon because I don't have 10, right? It's okay. So yeah, can you really bring her in PvE that much? The stun doesn't come in that handy. Versus a boss, you can't stun a boss. But the skill number 2, that is strong. Pushing back CR, and then...
Hi, I'm ae-NINGNING, and I'm an EAT hacker, so I'll track those baddies down till the very end.
Very nice. Very nice. So, let's stay here for a second here. Look at her design. Yeah, hero looks great. I mean, the animation too with the pose. Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. So yeah, so far, I mean, the heroes from the aespa collaboration, solid designs, right? And their kits are strong, man. I need to test ae-NINGNING, but on paper, sounds good, looks good, and like we'll see, I think you're gonna be able to bring her a lot in PvP, but in PvE, I mean, it's not really why some of the hero we pull for, but sometimes you have all your gear on a hero like that, you have some of your best gear, and of course, they're going to be able to perform quite well in PvE content as well. So, I'm going to have to grab her here real quick. So, actually, I can just do that real quick here. Yeah, got that space, man. It's great having some space here. So, this is my second account. I do have Winter, so we'll be able to test out the combo. Like, why not, right? Okay. Winter got fixed damage, right? The attack buff is not that big of a deal on her. They're both fire, but still, they both deliver a different purpose. They both have a different purpose, so it's okay. It's not like they're both damage dealers and they're both fire, and that's problematic because you're doubling up on the same element, and then you're not gonna. There's not that many teams you're gonna be able to fight off, or in World Arena, if you go with like double damage dealers of the same element, beside like light and dark, you could be in a bad spot. You could be in a bad spot. So Here we go. And her artifact, man, like, really? Like, I was able to, like, manage 3? That is pretty insane. So, what I usually do is, I have, always, you keep a separate one on the side. You don't know. You don't know. You might not be building that artifact straight off the bat, but later down the line, you might want to have it. You might want to have it. Yeah, I could have 3 separate ones, right? Like, could you imagine? Since this is not limited to 1 per team, you could literally, like, be saving non-attack skills, and soul removal can only be activated once every 4 turns. It is for that particular artifact, is it? It doesn't say that it's team-wide. Yeah, so you could have it on 2 different, soul weavers. You could have it on 3 different soul weavers. I mean, that would be a really weird team. But I mean, let's say Blaze Dingo, right? He's a damage dealer, and he's a soul weaver, so you don't have to go with like 3 healers per se. And also, ae-NINGNING, guys, she's not a healer, so right, so she's a soul weaver that you can bring for her utilities, and that's cool. And then you can have a soul weaver that heals, and then you can have, like, just an example, like, it doesn't mean like you bring Blaze Dingo, but like, that's an example, like a damage dealer, utility, soul weaver, and an actual healer. That's 3 of them already, but you don't need 3. Maybe 1 is enough, but then imagine you have 2. 2 means like they're going to be dry in terms of souls, and that could be really cool. That could be really good. So I do have Bottle of Knowledges. Okay, I'll pour it up real quick. So like I said, 15% CR push, and that can be controlled. That's the good thing. That Night Artifact, I believe, is when you attack. It's not as many souls that you're gonna take off, but being able to... that was not the right term to put into that, I guess, but it's okay. And why did I not... It's okay, if I'm gonna go for a 3rd one, guys, I'm just gonna get it for Powder of Knowledge. What if it's that amazing? 1. Just 1, right? Because that's more realistic. Most of you guys will have just 1, right? Especially free-to-play players like myself, that's just the way it's gonna be. So let's just start. Let's start here. We'll level her up. We'll awaken her. 6-star. Skill her up to 15. Let's begin the process here. Okay. So here, I think I have... Do I have the bottle? Do I have that bottle? I don't have it, but I in the event, this event here. Yes, I have the points. I didn't purchase it, did I? I didn't purchase it. You see, you guys can do the same. This event's running, as soon as you start it, it's good for 3 months. And it doesn't start until you actually start it. Because I've tried on other accounts. Right? And you can wait with that bottle as a backup. Just in case. Just in case something like this happens, right? And then you are good to go. That's it. Where is she at? Let's filter this. Fire. Weaver. Look at this. Look at this. I could have pulled for multiple copies. To be honest, like, the imprint would be real nice. Real nice imprint right there, because this is an offense-based soul weaver with utilities, right? And that attack increase definitely comes in handy with the attack buff that she's providing. I mean, you don't have to wear her own artifact, guys. You could literally just wear a Warhorn. You wear a Warhorn plus the attack imprint. That's going to be pretty juicy for your damage dealers. Because if you're running like more than 1 damage dealer with her, that's going to be cool. That you're getting more value of the from the imprint and from the Warhorn. So just letting you guys know, for players that can't get, your hand on her own artifact. And wait, why? Okay, it bugged out here. We have to reset this so I can actually level her up. Okay. Let's go with the Awakening. Okay, so her stats, you can see here 114 base speed, right? She doesn't have the effectiveness yet. She's going to get like 30 effectiveness from what I remember. And that, we also getting more health. Defense, I think, stays the same. Let's find out. I do have the materials here. Move on to the 15 skill ups. I'll be throwing some gear on her. Talk about different builds after that. In my next video, of course, we'll have the showcase, guys, so definitely stay tuned for that. Oh yeah, can't wait to showcase her. And this is cool because this is not like just a healer, because she could heal. She could heal with the Soul Weaver artifact. So you've got that option as well. But it's not gonna be some big healing, but it's available. You want to just drop the healing Soul Weaver artifact. So this is a hero that you're just gonna be able to bring along in a lot of different team composition, I think. A lot of different team composition, especially whenever there's going to be a barrier. You see a fall in Cecilia, you feel like there might be a Bastion of Pelusia. You're fighting a Senya, you think they're gonna have the protection set that gives barrier from the Golem boss, right? And yeah, her kid's gonna come in real useful. Because you probably don't need to get too many turns in the battle. The battle might be shorter because this is a hero that will allow you to have more offensive power, right? With that skill number 2. So let's skill her up here. Let's look at her base speed first. Base stats. 114 base speed, like I said. You see her defense seems like it pretty much stayed the same. Her health went up. 30 effectiveness. Very nice. You need that effectiveness. So we're going to be requiring effectiveness on her gear. We're going to need some speed on her. Boost her survivability. But in a few turns, she's going to be able to do quite a bit. Quite a bit. So her own artifact. It's right here. So what do we get in terms of stats? Some health. We need health. Great. Okay. And you know what? You even boost your combat readiness with her. Now, this doesn't even attack. This seems to be a non-attack skill. So that's it. So even if, let's say, they don't have barrier, right? You are able to push her combat chance by 50% after skill ups and then get the extra CR push from her own artifact. So even versus a team that doesn't have a barrier initially, but then they eventually get barrier, maybe barrier has been taken care of, let's say, you have her later on in the rotation, to fall in CC, she's reapplying barrier throughout the battle. Maybe it's the Cecilia artifact, which reapplies barrier. Like you could be using ae-NINGNING to counter that. Maybe it's Senya. The barrier shows up later, right? So there's a lot of possibilities. Now, for the skill ups, I do have the Molas. I might need more of these sharp spearheads. So, but first things first, you might not actually need to boost her skills all the way to plus 15. But that's the way I roll, so I'm gonna be using all my materials and bring her to plus 15. Now, what is the priority? Priority is you need the -1 turn cooldown on the skill number 2 and the skill number 3. But the skill number 2, guys, it drops from 3 turn cooldown to 2 turn cooldown, which is insane. Now, you're just gonna be boosting the combat readiness and giving attack buff to the highest attacker on your team, which is gonna be great. Like this is just gonna be happening. You're gonna be pushing back CR for the enemy as well. If she's cycling fast, she's got a lot of speed. You're just going to be able to, slow down that annoying hero on their team, potentially stunning that hero, especially with the soul burn, 100%, chance to stun if you have the effectiveness. If it doesn't get resisted, ae-Winter, ae-NINGNING got stun. That's cool. That is very powerful. Stun is definitely a strong debuff. So, -1. I mean, this has... It looks to be a long cooldown, but look, now it's 4 turn. Now, think about it. She's getting 100% CR push, right? It's going to be important to max this skill number 3, actually, so you can go back to back. But if you have her on artifact, right, and you didn't use an on-attack skill yet, you didn't trigger it, it's once every 4 turn, yeah, it could make up the difference. So you don't really need all the skill ups in here for maybe for a little while, but when you're fighting a team that doesn't actually have barrier initially, you want to have all these skills powered up. So remember that. But yeah, I mean the -1 here, big deal, guys. From 3 turn to 2 turn is massive. Massive deal. And think about it. Imagine this thing is on cooldown, right? And this thing is ready. Like you just used it, and now you follow it with the skill number 3. It's available, like you can go skill 2 into skill 3. And now that means if they have barrier, you're getting a turn again, which means you can skill 2 again. So maybe that ally with the highest attack, it was the start of their turn. They don't quite have the combat readiness yet. And you're going to be able to push back the CR by 30%. You're going to be able to push the combativeness of that ally with the highest attack by 30%. So you're getting them that much closer to go, especially if they're a slower on a slower build, right? So that's pretty strong, pretty strong. Yeah. So now, yeah, the skill number 3, what a big deal. You want that CR push for herself to be, you know, as close to 50% as possible because it doubles when any target has barrier, which is pretty insane. Pretty insane. So right here, to be honest, this actually deals damage. It's just a single target attack. And here, well, the effect chance is going to be useful. So to be honest, the damage is not that big of a deal here. The best build initially would be like 3-3-3. And then I would just go ahead and max skill number 3. You could be rolling with a build like this for forever until you're really comfortable into putting more skill ups because you're bringing her a lot. You're using her so much. You're like, you know what? Maybe a bit more damage wouldn't hurt. I might end up winning some battles. You know, maybe. So I'll be doing the conversion here. So how many do I need? I need 7. I need 14. I already have 3. So I need 11 of these spearhead, which I will have here, right here. It's not that one. It's right here. Spearhead right here. Man, this is great. Slider, perfect. Yeah, I'm going for exactly how much I need, just for now. Okay, so I'll just do it, man. Plus 15. Now, of course, if you wanted to plus 15 her skill, or you wanted to max a second one, then I'm thinking the skill number 2 might hit harder. Might hit pretty hard compared to skill 1. Maybe. It's on a 2-turn cooldown. So I could be wrong, but if there's a pretty big difference in terms of multiplier, damage multiplier, then of course I would max whichever one deals more damage. But, you know, dual attack, skill 1 is going to come in more handy. You're going to be using skill 1 more often than skill 2. Maybe you want to prioritize skill 1 with a soul burn instead of using skill 2 even though it's available because you already have attack buff on the highest attacker on your team. You can't select who gets the attack buff, right? But the CR pushback on the enemy could be definitely powerful, especially the more speed she has, the more cycling she's going to be able to do. She's going to be able to put pressure on the enemy with that CR pushback and, you know, boosting the ally with the highest attack buff and CR push for that ally. So I'm going to be putting gear on her. We'll see what kind of stats I'll be having. I'll talk about different builds. Alright guys, this is my build for ae-NINGNING. As you can see, I have a nice balance of stability, speed, and effectiveness. Very, very important stats, the speed and the effectiveness, right? You need effectiveness because, I mean, you got barrier inversion. That is a resist check. You got the dispelling of 2 buffs, resist check again. You got the combativeness pushback of 30%, resist check. And then you've got the stun on the skill number 1, which you can dedicate souls for her to bring that to 100% chance. So very important that you have a nice amount of effectiveness, especially if you're going to be fighting teams that are stacking effect resistance. You're trying to even stun a soul weaver. You're going to need a lot of effectiveness, right? So now for the build that I went for, as you can see, I have her on speed and immunity. Now speed, since she's working with 114 base speed, that's going to work quite well for you, especially with her, you know, speedy, offensive type of build that she has. You don't want her to be slow. You don't want her to be too slow. Now, there are ways for her to push her combativeness if the enemy opens against you. So, instead of a speed set, other builds, counter set. Counter seems to be pretty strong considering the fact that her skill number 1, if you're able to stun or you are counterattacking a target that's already stunned, you are getting 20% combativeness push. This can allow her to cut. So right there, that is very nice. And also you're stunning. You could be throwing stuns here and there throughout the battle. That could be really good for you, right? Now there's another thing you can do with ae-NINGNING is wear Water's Origin. Now, if you put Water's Origin on ae-NINGNING, that is going to be pretty insane because I'm going to be showing you right here. This artifact, right? If you receive 20% in damage of your max health or more, you trigger Water's Origin. And you can push your combat units by up to 20% depending on how many limit break you have into this, but it's not hard to bring it maxed out over time. This is boosting your survivability. This is allowing her to potentially cut if they're focusing her, but still, even if they're not focusing her per se, if they use an attack that hits your whole team and you make her maybe on the more squishy side, maybe you have a lesser amount of health and defense on her, that means there's a bigger chance the Water's Origin is going to trigger. Maybe you want to use her just for a few turns, do her job, and then you're okay if she goes down, right? So Water's Origin with a counter set together could allow you to do some pretty insane stuff, because if you're able to cut in the enemy's combo, you can definitely turn the tide of the battle, considering the fact that she has Barrier Inversion, dispelling 2 buffs. So maybe the enemy set themselves up with buffs, right? And she's able to get basically 2 turns if they have any barrier on their team, right? Then she follows with the skill number 2, and your ally with the highest attack might be in range. If you build that ally to be tight in range, and that 30% combat units push, that's big. That is big, and it will allow her to push that ally to go. And you can really disrupt the enemy with that. Like a massive disruption, right? I mean, you could, like, just thinking real quick, you could have a Dizzy with high attack, and that means you are able to disrupt them. Skill 3, you got the crippling debuffs, the stuns, stuff like that. You could be pushing I mean, it doesn't really work with her because she already has attack buff, but Holiday Euphine, it could work. I mean, like, she pushes the rest of the team, combat units, she gives attack buff to the team as well. There's a lot of combinations you're going to be able to pull off. So I think, like, there's a lot of potential for ae-NINGNING on a counter set with also Water's Origin. So the way that I'm going for is more like, I'm going to go early on. I'm going to get the turn 1, hopefully. I'm going to go maybe versus slower teams. So my build is to just cycle fast and not have to rely on counter to trigger, not have to rely on the enemy attacking her to trigger Water's Origin, which you might need a squishier build, but I wouldn't go for that. Actually, I would still build her with bulk, especially on counters, since she's going to be on the slower side. And Water's Origin with a tanky build will allow her to really stay alive longer, right? So stats on individual pieces of gear, which I haven't shown till now. Yeah, now for the 2-piece set, immunity is good. It's definitely good. You could go with something else, like a hit set, right? You could go with a protection set. Also, that's another option for your 4-piece. You could go with protection set. But to be honest, I wouldn't wear that on her because protection, I mean, you're not going to get the utility of counter. You're not getting the speed of speed set. But it's a possibility. I mean, if you're going to only use her versus a team that has team-wide barrier, like Fall and CC, or you're thinking they're running a protection set, yeah, you could wear injury on her, but that's really weird. I don't think that's viable. But if it's Fall and CC and they have a thick barrier, that is quite a bit of damage out of a hero like this, but it doesn't make sense to me. To really use her kit and cycle fast, speed is really strong, but counter can definitely work pretty well. It can definitely work really well. I mean, imagine counter attacking and you're stunning. Also, you're pushing the combat units of herself, cycling faster, but those stuns can, can win you games, but it is going to be luck based, right? Only the Soul Burn will bring it to 100% chance. Her own artifact looks very powerful, right? CR push 15%. If they don't have barrier, you're still getting 65% CR push at plus 15 up to 70% when this thing's maxed out. And then the removal of souls, 15 to 20 soul remove, depending on how many enhance you have, limit break, then that's going to be strong throughout the battle. Like, consider like the fact that your Bellion was banned, you can't bring Bellion, doesn't make sense with your team comp, something like that. Taking out souls, especially if you get turn 1, that is going to be devastating. Definitely going to be devastating. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think about different builds for ae-NINGNING. What have you tried her? Like, who did you use with her? Team composition? Where did you bring her? Let us know in the comment section about your successes and, well, your failures as well. So yes, ae-NINGNING, multiple builds for her. Wish I had some memory imprints, to be honest. That attack is pretty juicy. So yeah, I could pull more, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You could also have the effectiveness for herself. You know, it is quite crucial that you make those things happen. All those resist checks, yeah, you don't want resist to happen, right? Also, the skill number 3 doesn't seem like it's gonna deal damage, right? I mean, it does with the Baron version, but it doesn't do a direct hit. It does it after when it does the Baron version if they have barrier. That means that means it's pretty cool. Like if you are fighting a team with ice hero or heroes, if they're evasion based, doesn't matter. That's cool. One less thing to worry about, and I definitely like that. So other builds for her, to be honest, I think I covered pretty much all of them. But you guys let us know in the comment section. There's going to be other artifacts that are viable for ae-NINGNING. Like I talked about, Warhorn. You could be wearing Warhorn on her, especially if you consider the fact that you might have this later down the line. You might have it now. Some attack from this plus Warhorn is definitely going to help those attack-based heroes. But I wouldn't do that until I'm running her with like 2 damage dealers or more. Like if it's just 1 damage dealer, I don't think you're getting enough value out of it. I feel really good about this hero. I can't wait to try her out. So definitely stay tuned for my showcase right after this video. That's it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.